In this LEGO City update, we're finally going to start working on the zoo. It's been a project that we've been wanting to do for quite some time. Really excited to get started today. It's got a beautiful entrance right here, which looks pretty awesome. And then it has the large aquarium back here as well, which is home to several different animals. I like its new position here in the LEGO City, just in front of Pop Culture Street. The first thing that we're going to have to do when we're building today is render the aquarium. It's just too large. In its new home, there's not enough space to accommodate a massive aquarium like this here. It's got all sorts of enclosures such as penguins, dolphins, a large fish tank, and then on the exterior you saw the polar bears, which was supposed to be hippos, and also seals. So this aquarium here sits on two of the large 48 by 48 gray base plates. Just massive. Now it's still going to be on there, but we're going to Mills plate it. So the first thing that Jose did is actually built a giant Mills plate combining both of those plates together. And now she's starting to transfer over some of the stuff from the aquarium. So we're essentially trying to keep the same design, but reduce it in size, which is a little bit of a challenge. And we actually found working with the Mills was a little bit of a challenge as well, because the aquarium was originally almost like a Mills plate. It was built one brick up off the ground. One or even two, I believe it was. So now we're trying to incorporate more depth with the fact of Mills plates and with building the aquarium up off the ground. So the first thing that she's doing is building a perimeter for the central area of the aquarium, and also that accommodates the dolphin tank as well. You'll see all sorts of colorful bricks going underneath just to build the foundation, and then all sorts of panels and stuff like that that sort of make their way from the old aquarium onto the new layout to try and create new enclosures or rendered enclosures for the existing animals, such as the penguins one. That's what's going in that sort of semicircle enclosure. And the big blue glass panels, that's obviously for the giant fish tank. So we're sticking to that. We're using the 1x6x5 tall big blue panels, and then you'll also see some curved ones there because there's a really cool spot where guests or visitors up to the aquarium can actually go check out the massive fish tank and sort of stand inside the water. And then we've got all sorts of cool coral reef that's going to go in there, and all sorts of sea creatures such as an octopus, fish, a stingray, etc. Those blue panels do a good job of representing water, which we really enjoy. The next exhibit that we're working on is the seals. You'll notice that I'm not here helping Jose right now. I'm just doing some other stuff around the Lego room. And I do come in quite often just to say hey and bounce ideas off one another, and we sort of came up with a group plan here that we were just going to reduce the size of it. The next enclosure is the penguins. The penguins is a pretty cool one because it's curved inside the building, and then it's curved on the outside of the building as well. Working with those curves and the Mills plates was a little bit difficult, but in the end we made it look pretty good. I'm coming in to help with the front entrance, that being the sliding door, the sign that goes above that sliding door, and the glass panels, and then just sort of the exterior walls as well. Took a little bit of tinkering to render it to the right size, and then we also wanted to add something new, and that is actually from the fish tank 3-in-1 set. We're going to snot brick some fish on the back wall just to add a nice pop of color and just change it up a little bit. The next task is to build the roof, and that roof isn't as big as before, but we're going to incorporate some of the old stuff, such as a smaller style skylight. And then the final thing that we have to work on here in the aquarium is the last enclosure, which is for polar bears, which was supposed to be for hippos, but we're changing it to polar bears because our hippos were Duplo hippos that ended up being way too big. And then finally, we're rebuilding our reddish brown wall that surrounds the zoo and also the aquarium, and of course populating it full of minifigures. Now you can visualize how much smaller and more condensed this aquarium is, but I think it's actually better. There's been some significant changes to it. The first thing is the roof. Obviously the roof is way smaller, so I wasn't able to accommodate that slanted roof that we did before, but I decided to include a skylight, which was pretty easy to do. Just snot brick some large window panels in there and then frame it using the light bluish gray. I think that looks pretty good, sort of matches the vibe of the aquarium, and also brings in some light so that we can see the interior details from the outside. On the exterior, we've got the polar bears right here. You can see they're fighting over a fish. And it's all glassed off there, so visitors of the zoo can check out the polar bears. And then over here we've got a nice curved enclosure, the nice curved glass. And you can notice that all of our enclosures now have animal facts on tiles and on little connector elements. And this is penguins. Some of the penguins are jumping into the water at a unique angle, which is pretty cool. Lots of penguins in there. It's pretty crowded, but I think it looks pretty nice. And on the exterior of the aquarium, you can see that we've got some fish, which look good. And we've got some fish inside as well, which you'll see in a moment here. We kept the aquarium sign. It just worked out nicely for us. And we changed up the sliding door there using some of the door elements. And right here, we've got the seals. You can see the depth of the mills works nicely for the enclosures because you can make them nice and deep so spectators can look down at the animal. Once again, the fact sheet about the animals there, we just used random 2x2 or 1x2 printed tiles to make that happen. And then we've got our aquarium, which can be viewed from inside and outside. You can see our octopus there at a unique angle and all sorts of fish and coral reef. The back side still looks, I mean, pretty panel-like, but it's the back side of the aquarium. We could brick build this all, but these just help us save bricks and therefore save us money. Now, this large Mills plate is massive. It's 2 of the 48 by 48 gray plates, and the aquarium used to stretch from side to side. So we're actually going to have enough room here to put another enclosure there, 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 and there for 4 total. What those are going to be, I'm not too sure yet. We will continue working on the zoo here today as well, but let's have a look at the interior of the aquarium. I do realize that the aquarium is pretty tight and some of the enclosures are a bit too small for the animals, such as the dolphins right there. We would like to make the tank bigger, but hey, we're trying to save space, right? So it's good enough for what we're trying to represent. Obviously in real life you would never have dolphins in an enclosure that small, but hey, I think it gets the job done. And you can see we've got some fish snot brick to the wall there, and we actually increased the amount of glass panels on the back wall just because they look better and it brings more light into the aquarium. You've got a spot there where spectators can stand and see all the fish in the large fish tank, and a spot where they can stand right there to view the seals and also the penguins and polar bears. So yeah, a nice way for the visitors to view the animals from inside and outside when they go to the zoo and check out the aquarium. There we go, the newly condensed aquarium placed here in the zoo. You can see there's a lot more space now for other animals, which is good. There's one problem though, that's the only thing that's Mills plated. So the next thing that we got to do is, of course, Mills plate some more stuff. Let's start with the 3 plates here in the middle. So we decided to use some of our excess blue plates rather than using up those gorgeous green ones there. Jose's leading the build and she's building this massive Mills plate that is 96 studs by 32 studs. I think that works out fairly nicely. It's a large Mills plate like I was just saying there, but it's perfect. You can see we've added our walls there. Let's go place it. Hey, it's already starting to look a lot better, eh? All right, let's do the final 2 plates with the entrance. I'm taking away this one here. Oh my gosh, take it away, Bricksie. Okay, so we're building this massive Mills plate once again. Mills is like so part intensive. You can see all the 2x2 brick there and all of the 4x6 plate. And I'm scrounging and scrounging and scrounging and I finally run out of 4x6 plate. That's right, we are out. And we end up having to salvage some from some other pre-built Mills plates. So we have to place an order for some more Mills stuff. It's unfortunate because that's part of the reason why things are taking way longer than they should. For example, the amusement park, we want to get working on that, but we need like mass amounts of parts. That's 2x2 brick, 4x6 plate, whatever it may be, to do that properly with the Mills. The next thing that I'm doing is transferring over the reddish brown wall. I'm rebuilding it all because I want all the seams interlocked. I just think that's essential. So getting that built there slowly but surely, just sort of literally building a wall, making sure all the pieces are interlocked using 1x1 cylinders, 1x2 bricks, and 1x4 bricks, all with that nice like profile texture, which is good. And then the hard part is transferring over the actual entrance. Just a lot of bamboo and stuff on there that likes to fall off pretty easily. bring that thing over there, rebuild it all. I actually got Jose to do some of the final touches because she's got smaller fingers and can very easily work all those bamboo back into where they belong. Oh, wow. When that entrance is mills plated and placed here, it looks pretty good, eh? The zoo looks good. There's nothing going on in it. But hey, it looks way better than it's ever looked before. Better to have like dark gray plates like this here than like those random black bricks and, you know, gray bricks and stuff like that, sort of showing where we're going to put paths and whatnot. But the next thing that we got to start thinking about is where we're going to place our animals, because we've got big bags of animals here that are lions and alligators and farm animals and elephants and birds and everything like that. We got to figure out where we're going to place them in this new layout here. Lots of room, you know. We could do something in the center. We could do things on the side like we were talking about there. We could do things here. We also could fit food vendors, umbrella vendors, whatever it may be, right? Whatever you might find at a zoo. And it's going to be really easy to do that because it's 3 modules now, right? So we've got one module that's 2 48 by 48 plates right here with the entrance. You can see the seam right here. Then we have that 332 base plate module in the middle there. So it's right here. And then the aquarium is on the 2 48 by 48 gray base plates. And those are all held together by the fence that goes around the entire thing. You can see seam areas. And those are all just clipped in at the top there, so it holds it all together nicely. So yeah, now we can branch out from there. We've got a bunch of ideas. There's definitely going to be a lot more mills activity going on here compared to the rest of the city. We're going to use that depth to our advantage to create really cool terrariums or enclosures for animals. And I just can't wait to see what we come up with. But I still don't have the Sanctum Sanctorum built in place here in the Lego City, so I've got to focus on that. Well, make sure you stay tuned for some more zoo updates coming up here in the near future, because that is our next project that we will be working on. Everybody, thank you so much for popping on by. Let us know your ideas about the zoo by commenting below. Remember to like, subscribe, and stay tuned.